Hey, well, whenever I find something that I think you might be interested in seeing, I'm going to show it. Now, I knew that this pipe right here was leaking and it was shooting out from underneath. And I thought there might be a hole in it, just, you know, a pierced hole or something like that. And I was going to take my little landscape tool, poke a hole in it, and then put a coupling on there, put a plug on there, and that. But see, it was actually this pipe here. See how this thing looks like it snapped straight off? That's because there's a small little coupling in there, and that went in underneath this pipe, right in there, and it snapped off. When it snapped off, it blows water straight down through there. That's why. And so the other portion of the coupling is up inside this pipe. It's still stuck inside the pipe. And yeah, I can feel where it is. It's right there. And I know a portion of that, of the end of this, is in that pipe. So that's why I have to cut this out, put the coupling on the main pipe. But I thought, you know, I'm going to be a little investigator. Sometimes you have to do that. I thought, okay, where does this go? Do I need to actually hook it back up, or can I put the coupling on there? Or do I put the coupling on there and do I have to hook this back up by poking a hole and getting a coupling and doing all that kind of stuff? Well, first off, I see that this is 3/16 or 1/8 inch tubing, and nowadays they use 1/4 inch tubing. This one is a little bit bigger. The 1/4 inch tubing is easier to work with, and this stuff is older than the hills. And I thought, okay, do I need to hook this back up or not? So I dug it out all the way along here, and it goes up to no man's land. And there's nothing there, but where I saw this, there was this stuff here. So I knew there was an old plant here, and this is how they did it years ago. They didn't have the bubblers that they have nowadays. They just have a little bubbler, kind of like that, see? And that even broke off. And see, they've got a little stake here. I'm going to save the stake, but they used to do that in the old days, and then they would put this around there, click it down there, and then they would wrap this little string around there, and then snap this back on, and then your drip bubbler was up off the ground. That's how they did that. Okay, but I don't need this anymore. I'm going to save this. This little pipe's going to go bye-bye. Okay, I'm going to pull this out of here. This is that 1/8 inch tubing or 3/8 tubing. I'm not going to use that stuff anymore. Okay, so I'm going to throw that away. I'm going to save the little stake. And the funny thing was, here was another piece just laying here. And see, that one has been cut off. You can tell there's nothing on the end of it, right? And so years ago, they probably cut it off and they didn't use it. See, this end is perfectly good, but it's designed for this 1/8 inch or 3/16 tubing, and I don't like using that stuff anymore. But I may save the end of that in case I come across something else down the road that just needs that little end on there. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so before I dug this, now see, I still have to dig a trough right in there a little bit so that I can lift this. Well, actually, see, this is up above the ground. This stuff is supposed to be, you know, 3 or 4 inches underneath the ground. I don't like it when they run it. Sometimes they run it kind of across and then they just throw the bark over it. The problem with that is, years later down the road, when the bark guys and the landscapers are done, you start seeing the pipe after a while, because your gardeners, they blow, you know, when they're edging, when they're trimming the bushes, they blow, and then it blows the bark. Now see all this bark? I moved the bark back, and the bark is probably 3.5, 4 inches deep right in here, and that's because when they when they blow everything this way. And then it all kind of piles up over on this side of the yard. Look at this. I mean, my brother and I, we put bark down probably a year and a half ago. 2 years maybe. And it looks as though this bark has been gone for years. That's because the guys with the blowers, they blow it and then a little bit accumulates, a little bit. And then they rake stuff up, the leaves and stuff, and some of it gets in their bags and stuff. And so what you have to do sometimes is get your rake and rake up where the pile of stuff is over here, and then rake it back in here the best you can to give yourself a thin layer. It's like, where does this stuff go? We've done it, my brother and I have done it maybe over the past 10 years, at least 3 times. You know, big huge pile of bark out in the front, and get wheelbarrows and put it in here, and son of a gun, it just seems like it disappears, you know. So that's something else I'll probably end up having to do here when I get done with all this other stuff. But before you start digging and stuff, what I like to do is move the bark away, you know, before I do the repairs. Then after I do the repairs, I check the repairs, then I can push all the bark back so it looks like I was never there. It cracks me up. I went to a friend's house and they had a cherry tree they wanted installed and planted in their backyard, and they had their landscaper guy do it, and they had bark just like this kind of stuff, okay? And the guy dug a hole and he just threw the dirt right on top of the bark, the landscape bark. And then after he got it planted, he threw everything back, and you see the nicely planted tree, and you see all this dirt on top of the bark all over the place. I would have scraped all the bark around, all the way around the tree, where the tree was going to go, and then push everything back up, get a sprinkler head in there, a bubbler in there, whatever you got to do, and then push all the bark back. That's the good thing about doing it yourself or something like that, is to make sure that when you get done with the project, it looks like you were never there. That's how I like to see it when I do stuff, and I hope you would agree with that. Okay, I guess I better get my tools out and see what I can do about getting this pipe here repaired. I wasn't really going to show you that. I think I might. Because you might not have seen me fix this other leak over here a few videos ago. Okay, so if you haven't watched that, and if you choose to want to see how I went about doing that, you can always find that on one of my other videos. Okay, under landscape repairs or drip irrigation or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and make the repair right there. It's really not going to take me that long either, so you might want to watch this next video segment. Now here's just a quick tip I thought I'd share with you. Okay, I'm doing repairs to the drip irrigation over here. I've got this wonderful bush, it's huge, and if you happen to like different bushes like that, and if you poke around in your landscaped areas, sometimes you'll come across something like this. I see this here. This is a little volunteer, I call it, and that's come off of that bush. Now I could, if I really wanted to be energetic, and if I had a place to actually plant that, I could dig this out, and here's my little shrub that I can replant somewhere else in the yard, exactly where you want it. Okay, there's a tip for you. And I might look around. I'm not going to do it on this particular video. I'm getting ready to fix this main drip bubbler line irrigation pipe, and I just thought I would share that with you. I mean, that's something you can always do to save yourself some money and to make your garden look that much better. Class is now open. Okay, I'm down under here getting ready to fix this, there's a pinhole underneath right here, and I need to fix that. So first off, I'm gonna kind of mark where that is, and it was from another sprinkler pipe, snapped off, and the section is underneath here, the little coupling. So I'm gonna have to cut that out, and I'm gonna put a 5/8 compression coupler in there. Okay, I know this pipe is 5/8. I've already checked it out, and so I'm just gonna take my snips, and I'm gonna cut this out. And I might cut that. No, that's about right. Okay, now I want you to see what's inside this pipe. It's the back side of the coupling that snapped off. You see there? That is the little section of coupling. So I couldn't, if you see something that gets snapped off like that, you know there's no way you want to push that in with your little tool and put another coupling on there, because this little goodie right here is going to get into your sprinkler line. Okay, and that could cause havoc. It could plug up one of your other tubes, and then some of your plants could start dying. Okay, we don't want that, do we? Okay, this tube is coming. Oh, it's coming from underneath. I don't know why they put them underneath, but this one is underneath again, and it zipsy doodles on over to here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to decide what do I want to do with this one. I don't really want to move it too much, because if I do, it could snap off. This stuff is 25 years old, it's brittle. I start playing around with it, I could on this pipe right over this way, there's another one that comes down. I like to put them off to the side, you know, rather than underneath. That's silly. Okay, so now I'm gonna just hold this up here, and this doesn't have a center line, so I can slip this pipe on however I want. So I'm gonna kind of center it on there, and I'm gonna put a mark on both sides. And that'll tell me how far I should slide this on both directions, okay? All right, so, and this is designed just to fit. You don't have to use any glue, anything. It's called a compression fitting, and there's a concave area in there, so you got to make sure you get the right size. Some main drip irrigation pipes are 5/8, some are 1/2 inch, some are 3/4. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I guess I'm gonna do it with my left hand here, and you see, it's kind of hard to get on at first. Good grief. And it's almost like, is it the right size? Well, yes, it is the right size. If you measured it before, I should be on the other side because I'm right-handed, and it's easier for me to do it with my right hand. But once you get it started, now you kind of walk it back and forth, and I can do that to my mark. Okay, there, right there. Okay, that's the first step. Now raise it up, get it in there, hold your mouth just right, and kind of walk it on there. Okay, there, done it. I did it. I got it marked on both sides. And I like to put the marks on there first. Okay, and that's it. Now, if you want to check that, you want to check your project, you can turn your bubblers on manually, turn it on, and let it go through there, and see, and you should see that is not going to leak. That should not leak if it was the right size. Okay, and the 1/8 inch tubing, or 3/16 that had snapped off, I looked to see where it went. It went down to nowhere. Used to be a plant there years ago, and it had died off, so I don't have to install a new line. Now if that line was going to a plant, I would simply take my little tool, punch it in there, put a coupling off of there, use my 1/4-inch tubing, and put a bubbler wherever I need to go. Okay, and away you go. And that's a quick fix for how to repair your main drip irrigation pipe. Okay, that's it. Hope you learned something.